Hello everybody, I'm the founder and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about problems in the Call of Duty community, so let's jump into it. First, I'm going to start out with overpowered weapons, and these have been in every Call of Duty game online that I've played, i.e. COD 4 through Modern Warfare 3. COD 4 you had the M16, the MP5, World at War, MP40 was the big deal. Modern Warfare 2, let's see, M16, ACR, Scar H, TAR 21, 45, Akimbo G18s, practically every shotgun, considering they were secondaries when they should be primaries, and death streaks, which in itself is a completely stupid idea. Why would anybody be rewarded for playing poorly? It doesn't make sense. Like you reward people for doing well, not poorly. Um, in Black Ops, you had the FAMAS, the AKU. Some people thought the Galil was overpowered. Some people who were more observant, I guess, realized that the AUG and the FAMAS were practically the same gun, but I don't really think the AUG got the same overpowered kind of tone, or not tone, but a lot of people didn't view the AUG as overpowered as the FAMAS, even though their stats were pretty much the same. In Modern Warfare 3, obviously you have the Type 95, Dead Man's Hand, Kimbo FMG9s, all that good stuff. It's up to the community to not use these weapons once they are deemed overpowered. I mean, let's just make the game more fun for not only somebody who might be using overpowered weapons if they stopped using overpowered weapons, but it also makes it fun, or more fun, I should say, for everybody else, because nobody wants to lose every gunfight that they have because somebody else is using a weapon that is capable of things that it shouldn't be. And I mean, a lot of people look at overpowered weapons and they'll say, hey, look, the developers put it there and they made it that way, so I guess they made for me to use it. And although a fair point of view, and I've actually mentioned this in an earlier video, but I mean, I guess, yeah, that's a fair point of view. If the developers put it there, it's you have to assume that it's meant for you to be used. For instance, there was a leak game, I believe, that somebody was trying to beat the record of, like the world record for fastest time, beating it, and whoever beat the record kind of glitched by doing like a sprint backwards run or something like that, so you could get like super high jumps and literally jump over walls, so you could kind of glitch a lot of the game like that. And when I was talking to one of my friends about that, and I said, wow, that's a really cheap way to beat a record, he was like, well, the developers put that in the game, or kind of accidentally glitched it, so because it's there, you have to assume it's meant to be there. And that's I think that's the state of mind that a lot of people will use when they're talking about overpowered weapons. But I feel like the community actually are the people that make the gun overpowered, not necessarily the developers. Although the developers do create the gun in such a way that it could be viewed as overpowered, the community is the one that deems the gun overpowered. I've noticed there have been a lot of games where I've thought some guns were overpowered and they weren't deemed overpowered by the community, and then other ones that were deemed overpowered by the community I just thought were really popular weapons, but not necessarily overpowered. They weren't capable of anything that they shouldn't be. I mean, it seems to me that overpowered and overused have become somewhat synonymous in the Call of Duty community, but there is a difference. And I know that this sounds really obvious, but overpowered means that the weapon is capable of producing damage, range, accuracy, or a fire rate that it should not be capable of. And a lot of people get mad when they're killed by the same weapon over and over and over again, so then they call it OP. And a lot of times I'm like, okay, that weapon's not overpowered, that weapon's overused. I mean, I guess you can't really say it's overused, it's just really popularly used. I don't really know what overused would be. Secondaries can be overused, I guess, would be a way to say it, because you really shouldn't use secondaries unless you're either out of ammo for your primaries, or in some kind of situation where a secondary would be much more appropriate as a lethal weapon. So with overpowered weapons, just the basic stuff, kind of to recap, they've been there forever, and although I think the community is kind of the people that make the gun overpowered or deem it overpowered, it's at that point up to the community to decide how they want the game to play. Do they want it to turn into a game where everybody practically has to use the same gun if you just want to get one kill, or do you want it to be where there's a lot more variety in the game and you can win gunfights with different guns in different situations? So the other big problem that I see with the community is camping. I define camping much differently than I think most people do, but I'll cover this in a later video. Uh, so for this video, I'm gonna go on the generic kind of sit in a corner and wait definition of camping. Also, before I start, to be completely clear, there is no such thing as good camping, and no, it is not a legitimate strategy. But about camping itself, I just really don't understand how this became popular. I can't see any fun or entertainment in sitting in a corner and pressing R1 and L1 or RT and LT for Xbox. Um, the reason why I, along with millions of others, spend $60 every year on Call of Duty, not including Elite, is to be entertained and to have fun. So not only are you using cheap tactics to maintain an artificially high KD, which is the reason I would assume most people camp, but I doubt that you're having fun in doing so, but more importantly, you're kind of ruining the game for everyone else and giving the Call of Duty community a bad name. I'm not saying that you have to sprint everywhere you go, but try to spend more than 1 minute in any given spot, which even then is stretching. But if you really want to play the game well without camping, I might suggest avoiding the center, and for probably the 100th time, I will cover this in a later video. Looks like we're coming to the end, so if you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button and comment below. Tell me why if you liked my videos. Go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll see you next video.